Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Ellouise and Joseph Field. Welcome to Love in Real Life, where we talk all things relationships. Now, we don't have any real claim as experts, but combined, we have 85 plus years of marital experience, and that has taught us how to lead conversations, such as, do you have agreement before alignment? Did you know that potentials have expiration dates? Our goal is to help prepare you for relationship resets as we all continue the work of becoming the best version of ourselves. So you're in the right place at the right time. Let's get this week's segment of Love in Real Life started. Well, hello, everybody in KBOB land, and welcome all you real lovers as we prepare to kick off this week's session. Unfortunately, last week we experienced some technical difficulties, and so while you could look at the podcast, you could not hear anything. So we're going to repeat our subject, which is mate alignment, and hopefully you can call in, listen in by radio, or join us on Facebook Live and join us in this conversation.
Amen. Good afternoon, KBOB family. We're talking today about mate alignment, and I want to kick this thing off with some good old Google information, and I'm using it straight off of it to say that is not biased by any church or denomination or any other thing. It's just straight out of Google. And if you go look up the divorce rates, likely divorce rates in Oklahoma for 2026, Oklahoma leads or is near the top. As of early 2026, Oklahoma consistently ranks among the highest in the U.S. for divorce. It goes down through all their details, but the point is, in its contextual data, that nearly 35% of people who have ever been married in Oklahoma are going to experience a failed marriage. We're failing in teaching people their relationship skills and relationship tools.
Yes, because unfortunately, we just don't put enough emphasis on preparing people to be married. Any job that I've ever had, I had to have training for it. I don't care if I was flipping burgers, waiting tables, becoming a therapist. You have to go through extended and continuous education to keep improving yourself. And we just need to focus more on what it's going to take to prepare people to be in successful relationships. Unfortunately, a lot of our examples were not the best. We thank God for moms and dads. They hopefully did the best they could with the information they had. But we understand that dysfunction can only continue to breed after its own kind. So we have to change it up, do something different.
So if we go back to Google again and look at the rate of divorce of Christians, people who profess to be Christians, who are active in church or whatever, and it is certainly lower than the general population, but still remains at the same sources of 25 to 50% of Christian marriages nationally ended divorce. And the rate is often cited as 38% for regular church-going people. There's no difference from a little bit, but it's insignificant different. We are failing as a church to teach relationship skills. We're failing to teach them the tools that we need to keep marriages together. And if that makes you angry, I say again this week, good. Because we need to make changes.
Yeah, we have to change it up, because if we're having more divorces in the church than we are in the world, then that really tells us off the bat that we're doing something wrong, that it's not working, and we need to change it up. And I know growing up in church, it seems like so much emphasis is on prayer. I love prayer. I love to pray. But that's not all it is when it comes to finding and activating a solution to change things up. Obviously we're not praying. If we're having these many divorces, we couldn't be hearing God's instruction on the person that I'm supposed to be with. Because did God tell me to do that? No, I can honestly say my divorce came as a result of me, my own choice. God didn't have anything to do with it. God rather called me out of it several times before I got the courage to take the steps and leave. But we're just not following what we should be following.
So they'll say, well, okay, let's just not bother with getting married. And approximately 38% of Oklahomans in this year view the practice as acceptable, according to older yet frequently cited research. Uh, about 36% of Oklahomans believe that living together before marriage has all the advantages of marriage and on the common law context. So, that's the next one up. Now I got one more.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, we have to understand marriage is not man's idea, right? So it's like a car. You go to the manufacturer. If you have an Audi, you have a Lexus, you have a Mercedes, you have a BMW, you have a Cadillac, you have a Ford, a Chevy, whatever you have, there comes a manual with that vehicle that tells you how to maintain it, how to take care of it, what to do if this happens or that happens. And so we have to be willing to consult with God, whose idea it was for marriage. But we think that God is too old, he's too ancient, he's out of step, he's out of touch, he don't know. God knows everything. So how are we going to tell him that he doesn't know?
Keep going.
Still working on you. Okay, Joe, still working on his.
I can't do that business. I got to do one. I'm a one finger guy here.
Okay.
Joe he read some great statistics. Here. Can you imagine if it's here happening in Oklahoma?
The Bible Belt.
The Bible, but what's going on in those bigger cities and larger? Oh man, it's got to be atrocious.
Yeah.
Those statistics that you read, Joe. Yeah.
So the percentage rate of cohabitating couples who separate or get divorced is at 35% of people. That even though 36% of Oklahomans believe that living together outside of marriage has all the benefits of marriage, 35% of those, one more percent of them, they're going to separate. It's not working, folks. It's not working.
Why aren't people getting married as much today? I don't never go to hardly any weddings anymore.
You don't?
No, I really don't. And I got a radio station here, and I don't really hear a lot of people getting married. Maybe you guys do, but I don't. I don't really hear a lot of young people getting married no more. I'm getting a sense of independence. Everybody want to be independent, and they want to do their own thing and only get the benefits of sex and all of that when they need it. And that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and a lot of people, the younger people, seem to think that the best thing to do is let's get together, let's live together, let's have some kids, and then if everything works out 10 years up the road, we're going to get married. But
I've heard that before too.
Yeah, the way we were taught to do it was the reverse, that you get married and then you have kids and then you keep extending your family. But a lot of people today are afraid because we do have so many failed marriages, but we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because some people's marriages fail. Again, I can honestly say, then people say, oh, if you could do it over, would you do it over? I was married 33 and a half years before. Would you do it over? Yes.
Well, you're already doing it over.
Already doing it over?
You're already doing it over.
But they say if I could go back and do it differently, would you? Yes, I would. And people, but you got your kids. I love my kids. I'm still going to have kids. They just wouldn't be
I've
with
been
that
married
person.
twice, 2 times.
Okay.
And I've been married 2 times. Would I do it over again? I don't think I would do it over again. And if I had to do it over again, I'd do it a little bit different, than what I did, you know, if I had to do it over again. Right. Because we can point the finger at the spouse, point that finger at he or she, but we don't never look at what part we played in the marriage and what we did wrong and what we could have done better.
Yeah. I and all of that has to be taken into account.
It does.
I had to look at it and say, that was not the best choice for me. Not that was a bad person. It just wasn't the right fit for me. And so, but looking at my own things, we got married. I didn't know about marriage.
Some people right now, as we speak, are married and very unhappily married. You know, they're together out of different circumstances or reasons and stuff, and they just stay stuck right there 10, 12, 20 years, 25 years of the same old routine and never find any happiness in their marriage.
Yeah.
So we have all these unhappy people, and that's why we're talking about and trying to help people learn mate alignment, which is our topic for today.
Yeah. You get aligned before you get married. And if there's no real alignment, we ain't talking about the feelings you get, because anybody can experience lust.
Yeah, they can.
We're human. We're going to have temptation. You can have all the feelings, the butterflies, the whatever. I don't want to get too graphic because it's still a family show. But come back for the night sessions. But at the end of the day, it has to be more than that, because a lot of people connect love with emotion, and they don't know how to separate it out. And so I'm all the, oh my God, oh, he just makes me feel like this. Oh my God, it's just so wonderful when I see him, my heart beats fast. And
when
all
we
those
kiss,
things.
just
Yeah, we got cream going everywhere.
right.
But besides that point, those things may not happen every time. And so if that doesn't happen every time, but that's all I'm basing my relationship on, that's really not alignment. Those are moments. And those moments are going to pass. Why? Because as people, we keep changing. We're going to keep evolving, keep growing, unless you want to be stuck. But if you really want to grow, you're going to grow and change into a different version of yourself. I would dare to say even the version that Joe knows now, based on the version he met in 2024, I'm not the same person. He's not the same person.
No.
People evolve,
They
do, and change, and you learn a little bit more. But I think you should really vet a person.
Oh, you got to
vet hard and find out what about that. Because see, we can put on a persona and fake and shake, and every time we get with somebody, we putting on deodorant. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? When we ain't with them, we ain't putting on no deodorant. The feet are stinky and all of that. So we can do that faking. I call it faking and shaking, rather than just vetting a person and letting them know who you really are and what you're really about. And therefore you laying everything out on the table, and they don't have any questions to even ask.
Yeah, because you're very forthright and open, honest about who you are, so they can transparency, right?
Exactly.
Transparency is like a glass.
Being transparent,
you can
is the best.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. So we've got all these unhappy people out there. When they're getting divorced and they're lonely, they're whatever, they want to have someone that they can love and be happy with and share their life with. And so we based everything on the lust issue, on the chemistry issue, on all these things, how they look, the very thing that you say, because it's easy to dress up and put the deodorant on and look good and go and everything.
Right. Couple of squirts of cologne and all that,
a couple of those,
Oh, he smelled good.
And we end up being unhappy and miserable.
There's a lot of people in today, 2026, who have the finances and got big homes and all of this stuff, material stuff, and it's two, maybe three people in the house living, and they're miserable. Miserable. I mean, I know a few entertainers who are just, man, I'm thinking about getting a divorce, man. What are you talking about, man? You got everything. You set up, you and your wife. Yeah, man, but I be on the road, and I'm just, man, look, we just didn't grow apart.
Yeah.
Why did you grow apart? Well, we just didn't stay in touch, and we didn't keep it together, and we didn't,
Marriage is hard work.
Marriage is a job.
It is.
It's a job. It's a job. It's hard work. It don't come with an instruction manual how to put everything together. It's just like those cars you were talking about. If you drive a Mercedes and he drive a Honda, you know what I mean? He used to driving that Honda, you know what I mean? Those are two different types of cars.
Right.
And so Every once in a while, he might want to get in that Mercedes and drive, and you might not want to get in that Honda because you used to driving that Benz,
Right.
and so it's gonna keep you at a certain standard and level.
Yeah.
But he get back into his Honda, or you vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It can go just like that.
Yeah.
This is my car. It's not our car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You drive this, I drive that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way a lot of people kind of work today.
Yeah, their marriage is just like that. It's like it's supposed to be two coming together to become
As one
unit, one team, one partnership. But it doesn't mean you lose your identity or lose all of yourself in it. It just means that we're coming together to build a team so we can partner together in marriage and make decisions together, look at life, enjoy life, love life together. But it doesn't mean that I become Joe and Joe becomes me. That's not going to happen. But we should have enough with alignment that we should have enough in common where we're not at odds with each other. It doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything.
No.
We're two different people from two different backgrounds and two different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
But in spite of that, we have enough in common. The main thing being God, our love for each other, our love for our family, our love for our community, love for advancement of life and love and justice and all those things. So we have enough core things in common that even when things aren't good and we haven't got to that space, hope we never do. I don't want to say yet, but hope we don't. I like the way that we can talk through issues and problems.
Well, that's the whole thing is conversation.
Yeah.
Being able to talk to each other without yelling at each other and screaming.
We're not doing
and
that.
A lot of couples are there though.
Mm-mm.
They're
Not
right
doing
there.
that.
I didn't tell you that. I mean, no, I told you. And they knocking and hitting on doors and stuff like that,
throwing
stuff and
acting
knocking over lamps and all that.
Juvenile behavior up in a marriage.
Juvenile behavior.
Listen, folks, marriage is for adults.
Say that. You can say that again.
It's
juvenile.
just juvenile behavior, and marriage is for mature adults. And if you haven't walked in your mature self yet, go get that done before you try to get married, because then we won't have all these high statistics where the numbers are 35% and 50% of divorce rates. What? No, there is a strategy for how to work it. It's just like the job. You go to your job and you don't want to go, but that money, right? Because you got them bills. But you still suck it up. You put on your good employee face. You go in there and act like you got some sense.
And talk to the boss. Boss tell you what to do.
Right.
And you do whatever he tell you to do.
Now, in your mind, you might be saying whatever, but you ain't letting it come out your mouth. Same thing.
If you do let it come out your mouth, you're talking to a co-worker.
Okay.
He made
and
me
you better be quiet.
Better be
they'll go back and tell.
They'll go back and tell.
That they back get against the wall. They'll go sell you out in a New York minute.
Sure will.
Even when you don't like things, you have to find the right way to approach it. But these are things that Joe and I talked about, both of us coming again together with over 85 years of marriage between the two of us. No, we're not claiming we're relationship experts because we didn't study the field. We just know what we've lived and watched people around us. But we talked about things before we got married, uncomfortable things. And we're going to get into that. One of our topics is going to be, let's talk about sex, because in the church, nobody don't want to talk about sex and really bring it.
They won't talk about
sex
in the church.
It's taboo.
But
it's
why?
Taboo.
But yet you expect us to get married and be successful, and that is a very important part of the marriage. It's not the only part, but it is an important part. And if you can't talk about it, if you can't express it, if you don't know what you're supposed to do with it, then how are you going to be successful? And there are other issues too, finances and all these different things.
Well, they say finances is the biggest problem.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Money.
Yeah. It's one of them. Yeah, definitely.
One of the biggest problems in a marriage.
Because when you're married, you have to learn how to blend. It's not just me doing my thing. It's us doing our thing. Mm-hmm. And you got to know the difference. When you don't know the difference, you're not aligned. And if you're not aligned, again, like I said last week, it's like if your car is out of alignment. There are telltale signs when things are not in alignment. And I tell you, when things are not in alignment to a certain point, your people around you in your atmosphere, they come in your atmosphere, they know your stuff ain't together.
They know
They can pick it up like, what? Oh, what's going on with Joe and
something
Ellouise?
happening over there with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Did
know
you
what's
see
going
the
on.
way she looked at him?
Yeah.
You hear the way he talked to her?
They didn't act the same coming over here today.
Yeah,
You know?
it's going to be telltale signs when
Mhm.
things are not in alignment. So then what do? We can't just deny it and pray. I'm just going to pray, oh, Lord.
I'm
make
going to pray
everything-
about it. Mm-hmm.
Look, y'all, prayer is not a magic wand. It has power. But the whole purpose of prayer is for me to align myself with, because I know so little, to align myself with the God who knows everything, so that then he can reveal to me what I'm supposed to do. Not Joe. He's talking to me about me, what I need to do to fix it and to work it on it and make it better. But I can't just keep going on like I don't know.
Joe got to
there's
do
an
it for
issue.
himself.
That's right.
Every person.
That's right.
It's
all
an
of us.
individual walk.
Bobby got to do for
Yeah,
himself.
it's an individual walk. I can pray for Joe, but praying about Joe, what's that about? I don't even know what that's, because God's going to put the mirror right back on me. Like you said earlier, you point the finger back at yourself and see, what are you doing? What's going on? Did it come across that way? Was that the intention, or did you feel it? I'm sorry. Did you respond to it that way because of some trigger or some PTSD or whatever it might be? But that's not on him. That's on me. And I have to be willing to keep doing my work. Just because you do work before you get married, the whole thing about staying in alignment is you have to keep doing your work. And as things are revealed, because everything is not revealed just in the previous conversations before we got married, as we do life together, things are going to be exposed. Oh, this happened and that made me feel this way. And I feel like that, or, oh, that made me think about this. You just have to keep working. Because again, it's going to take a lot of work. And if you think you're going to get married and just float on into la la land and everything is just wonderful.
That ain't it.
That ain't it. That's still that lust thing. That ain't marriage.
So one of the things that we encountered, because it's difficult enough between same race couples, but if you add the interracial couple situation or intercultural situation, even though it may be the same race, you have all these things that you have to work through, and it's the little things. Another things we'll be talking about is that the little foxes spoil the vines that the Bible talks about. But one of the habits that I developed as a father and grandfather and great grandfather is I would stroke the kids on the top of their head and kiss them on top of their head. It's just, everybody knows that's what Papa's going to do, and they expect it. They come over and they offer their head.
Hey, bring their head to you,
They
huh?
bring their head.
They know you're going to kiss them and stroke them.
Okay, so I developed that affectionate habit, and that worked real good till I tried to do it on Ellouise.
To Ellouise. Ellouise wasn't going for it, huh?
No, she informed me very quickly that you don't touch black women's hair.
I know, yeah. I know you mentioned that before, yeah. You didn't know that, huh?
I didn't know that. So the point here is that we have to submit ourselves and realize that these little things it's not a one and done situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is every day, daily submission and commitment to one another.
Mm-hmm.
You have to almost like learn a person.
You do have to.
It's like their ways, their wants, their needs and their desires, and you got to learn that the do's and the don'ts with that person.
Yeah.
Because if, say for example, if you're in the bathroom and the women, now I'm telling you women, and you got hair all over and the lipstick and all that over the counter, and he comes in there, hey, don't you clean up all of this stuff? I don't even want to come in here, and wash my face, because you got all of your stuff over there. If you know for a fact that it erupts him like that, why not just clean up and put your stuff to your side? If you got a double sink in the bathroom, and if you just got a single seat, just keep it clean. It's that simple.
Yeah. That was a thing that I prayed about when we were looking
That
for
is
homes.
that is
I
simple.
want a bathroom where we have 2 sinks. Now we have 2 bathrooms,
Mhm.
but in our primary bathroom we have 2 sinks,
Yeah.
and he has his side and I have my side, and then he uses the toilet in the extra bathroom,
Oh.
so that way the other, because
You can't go in there,
men
Joe.
get in the habit, men
leaving
get in
the-
leave the
leaving
seat
the-
up.
Leave the
seat up,
Leave
boy.
the
I
seat
did.
Now, what is that?
That
Let me ask you
eliminates
this.
that problem.
Let me ask you this. A lot of women say that,
Hmm.
leaving the seat up. Is that because women want to come in and just sit down?
That is it. We
That's
don't-
just
we-
the
we
whole
just-
thing,
We
huh?
want to sit. You just get in the habit of, because when you're growing up, you go in the girls' bathroom, right? When you're at school or in public
And
places,
then all of
you don't have shared facilities.
So the seat ain't never up.
It
Huh?
ain't never up.
Yeah.
So you just get in the habit of not even looking to check. But if you don't look to check and he left it up, you going into the toilet.
Mhm.
And that's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those female things.
It's-
We prefer for the seat to be
It's
down.
these little things like this, and then
Yeah, little things, even
Just-
the toilet paper roll being turned a certain
Nah,
way.
I don't care about
You know,
that.
some of them,
Yeah,
it
it
don't
gotta
go
go back.
You gotta go
It
from
gotta
the
go
back. Gotta
forward.
go from the front. Well, I mean, there are people who
I
are like
know,
that.
I know.
They are serious
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
You know,
hard.
and those kind of things like that. You gotta vet and learn your partner,
Mhm.
the do's and don'ts, and then you gotta have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
talk
And
about it.
and talk about it, so you'll know, she'll know, you'll know, and you'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah, and you got to pick your battles. Okay, so I prefer for the seat to be down. This weekend we went to Austin, so we're sharing a bathroom because it's just one bathroom in the hotel room we had. And some out of habit, Joe might forget, but it ain't gonna kill me to let the seat down. But the first time I almost went in it, and because I'm used to having my own bathroom. So, but it's not the end of the world if they leave the seat up, ladies. Don't let that be the battle that you pick, because if you dealing with that, you dealing with ankle biter stuff, and you can never get up to the chest high waters if you're always going to be dealing with the ankle biter stuff.
So in each of us has to come to the point of submission to God, and submission. Let's see, where's that? Oh, personal surrender of our own desires, timing, and expectations to a higher standards. For example, God's design for marriage, mutual respect, and shared ethics. As we submit ourselves to God, and as we look inside ourselves first, and evaluate, what is my expectations. Ellouise is real good about making a list. I'm not real good about making those lists. She made a list. I ranked pretty good on that list. I was really fortunate.
You were fortunate, huh?
What do I expect, and look for someone who matches up with the things that I expect. If chemistry is not going to make it last in a marriage, we have to have those core values, those core commitments in faith, whether it is or is not. When Paul said 2 Corinthians 6:14, do not be unequally yoked, he was talking about believers and unbelievers. It works both ways. If you're not a Christian, then why in the world are you down there at church looking for some of them Sunday school girls? Because you're not going to get along. In the same fashion, any times that I saw when I was pastoring and counseling with people, I've got some girl that's lovely young lady, grown up in church, Sunday school, commitment, nice, clean, and everything. And when it comes time to look for a boyfriend, she's looking for a bad boy. I want a bad boy. Yeah.
Bad boy.
And it doesn't work out.
I don't understand that,
And even within the church, just because people are both going to even the same church, that don't mean you're equally yoked.
Yeah.
It don't.
You think about shoes. Everybody, I could line up a bunch of people that wear the same size shoe, but that same size shoe is not going to fit every person. So it's not enough. And I'm not advocating try the shoes on before you buy them. I'm not in real life shoes, yeah. But I buy shoes off Amazon. I don't try them on before I buy them. But if they don't work, I send them back. But what I'm saying is that just because a person can be in church, that doesn't mean that that's your mate. You have to see, how do you really align with that person? knowing the things that you have in common. How do they show up in situations, whether it's a health problem, a financial problem, if it's a family situation? How does that person show up when they're under pressure? How do they do? Do they get panicked? Do they get fearful? How do they show up? You have to learn, like Bobby was saying earlier, you got to learn your person.
Yeah, you got to learn your person,
Yeah.
because you got to learn not only what they do on the outside and their jobs and everything, but what's their health like?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on the inside?
Yeah.
Do they have a terminal disease or something that they haven't told you about?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be able to vet that person
You do.
so they can tell you if they got a cancer or they got this or that or what's going on with them. What kind of medication are they on?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they not on any medication?
Yeah.
How do they dress? Or do they go out to the clubs on a regular basis?
That part.
You know what I mean? Because, I saw a show today where they were talking about, should a man tell his woman or his wife or girlfriend what to wear when going out with her girls?
Mm.
And he said, well, if she wore sheer stuff and breasts hanging out and behind hanging out on one of them sheer outfits, if he said, no, I don't want you going out like that, should she be able to just go out like the way she please, to put on her own clothes the way she are? Should she listen to her boyfriend or her husband tell her she can't go out like that?
Now, question I would have is, number one, how much you love yourself. Because why you out here advertising, number one, period. Whether you single, in a relationship, or married, why are you out here advertising? Men have enough imagination. You ain't got to put it all up in their face, ladies. I know y'all going to get mad. You're going to come for me. That's okay. I'm 72. I know how to hold my own.
Come on, say it, Ellouise. Talk that talk,
But
Ellouise.
why are you out here advertising your breast and your butt and your lips, camel toe in the front? They already can envision that. If you had on a sheet, they can envision that. They have the gift called imagination. They are moved by what they see, and they don't have to see every curve and hug of your body in order to imagine something about you. But if you're, number one, do you love yourself? Do you respect yourself? And why are you? I think it should be okay. If I put something on and just say, baby, that's not quite flattering, I don't have a problem with it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going out here placing ads. God told me that years ago. You place an ad, then you have the audacity to get angry because somebody responds to what you're putting out as a classified. If you're putting yourself out there, then people saying something to you or responding to you, you got the nerve to get mad. That's foolishness. You want people to notice you. That's why
you're looking for attention.
Mm-hmm. And if you got a man, why can't you dress like that for your man or your husband? I don't even say a boyfriend. If you have a husband, then it's okay because you belong to him and he belongs to you.
Well, some women on this particular platform are saying he shouldn't be able to tell me what to wear and what to put on. It's my body and I can do what I want to do, and he shouldn't have any say-so in it.
It's your boyfriend, somebody you hope to marry. Because he going to have say-so in your life. You going to have say-so in his life.
He will.
So, and it's natural, because if a man has a woman, he doesn't want her out here putting all his stuff out here for all the guys to be drooling over and all that. But I don't even understand that thinking.
In the minute you got all that exposure on your body and you out there in the public
shaking it up,
and a guy gropes you, you know what I mean, and looks at you like you a streetwalker, you know, you're gonna get mad, you're gonna get upset,
get offended,
and all of that. But you're bringing that attention to yourself,
right?
So where did we learn that behavior?
I think they learned it on social media.
Thank you.
Social media brought
TV
that
before social media.
Well, TV,
but it was limited.
But it was limited in the movies and stuff like that. But now you know, everywhere. You got all of these Cardi B's and all them dressing just like that.
And y'all got to look at where did some of these women come from before they got famous? What was they doing?
They was in strip clubs and
So
stuff.
that's the spirit you want to follow. That's the example you want to lead. That's how you want your daughter to mimic that behavior. Really? I don't think so.
And
Yeah.
what do
I
we,
don't think
and
so.
just like now, you've got the experience, Bobby, with the celebrity side of this. Are they happy?
No,
No?
most of them who are in those type of situations are not happy.
Right.
They're not happy
And
at
that's
all.
not the girl they want to marry.
You know,
And
they're
that's not
not.
the girl
It's
they
not
wanna
nobody
marry.
want to marry that girl.
They'll sleep with you, girls, ladies.
Oh,
They'll sleep with you
We
because men can go even when you can't. But is that what you want? You want to just be used in a situation or viewed in that way? No, you owe yourself something better than that.
You do if you have some pride and some integrity and some honesty about yourself. You will not reveal yourself to the public to see.
Mhm.
You can dress modestly and just dress in a way to where, oh man, that's a nice outfit she got
Right.
on, a nice
Right.
dress she got on. It's she looks very
Yeah.
nice and attractive.
Yeah.
She looks feminine.
Yeah.
She don't look like a streetwalker on the streets, with her tail all out and everything.
Or the see-through
See
things.
through and all that. You can see the cleavage,
everything.
everything you can see.
But your nipples.
But your nipples and your camel toe budge and all out. And
yeah. What is the?
come on now. Come
we,
on.
We just let the line go too far to the left. We gotta bring
Men
balance
are
back.
physical.
Mm-hmm.
We are physical beings. We can be together, pack of us sitting around, and all of a sudden a beautiful woman come walking down the street. And the first thing we're going to say, woo-wee, look at her. Man, you see her? Hey, man, check her out. Who is it? Who is that? Who is that? That's the way men do.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're physical.
Right.
We see things in a physical light.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, man, I'm going to go holler, man. You go holler, man. Yeah.
Get them digits.
Get them digits.
Mhm.
That's the way men think.
Right.
And they've been thinking like that since the beginning of time.
Right. Adam, when he saw
Adam.
Eve, what did he say? Whoa,
Oh,
man.
man, look what I got.
Yeah.
You know.
So that has not changed, but
No.
we have to carry ourselves in a way that's respectful and not
men too.
advertising.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to see a
Men
man's
too.
junk either.
You know, men have a tendency to they junk in t-shirts off trying to be all muscle
too
man.
small of
Too
a
small
shirt.
of a shirt.
I'd be like,
You
go
know,
home and take your son's shirt
I be
off.
saying,
You know that's your boy's
your
shirt.
little boy shirt. And
Budging all
budging
out.
off, cut off tank tops and stuff like that. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? Don't
Sweatpants with everything dangling. Don't do that.
everything dangling and
Don't-
showing.
Don't do that. There are ways to carry yourself in a respectable way on both sides of the table.
And the end result of this is we're trying to teach people relationship skills in order to have a happy and pleasant and enjoyable life and to have a marriage partner. Proverbs 31:10 and 11 says,
Virtuous woman.
can find a virtuous and capable wife. She is more precious
And
than
rubies.
Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. And if I can turn that around and paraphrase it from the other side, I believe I'd be justified. Who can find a virtuous and capable husband?
Mm-hmm.
He is more precious than rubies.
Mm-hmm.
His wife can trust him, and he will greatly enrich her life.
Yeah.
Heard it a million times.
Yeah. And Joe mentioned the list. Those were things that were on my list. He didn't have a list. I had a list for a long time.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I had been divorced since 2009. I never thought it would take me to 2025 to get married. I really didn't. But I didn't want to just marry anybody. I wanted to marry somebody that would be a kingdom partner that could cover me in the spiritual side of life.
You're laying out that.
He had to be at least 6 feet tall.
Yeah, you had. Okay.
He had to be physically fit.
Oh boy.
Because this is the biggest I ever been in my life. I'm about 145. This is the most I ever weighed, and I wasn't pregnant. But so I wanted somebody with those health goals in line. I didn't want somebody with a lot of ailments and sicknesses and disease. I didn't want to be. I want to travel the world.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that most women, I'll say maybe 70 to 80% of African American females have these high standards of a man? 6 feet tall,
Mhm.
make six figures,
I don't
you know, more than 6 inches, you know what I mean?
They can't.
And
What they
all
gonna
of
do
that.
with it?
Well,
Never mind.
I mean,
Don't go there. We'll say that for our sex
okay,
talk.
okay, all right.
They
Whoa.
think, but
Whoa.
But you
listen.
know,
We're
I
gonna
mean,
come with the science when we
Right.
talk about. Let's talk about sex. But yeah, I know
Okay.
they out there with it.
okay, they're out there. Modern day women are right there. They're right there in today's
Because
time
that's
now.
what social media is telling
That's
them. That
what-
is not even real life,
That's
people.
It's
what
not.
social media has taught them,
It's taught them that.
and celebrities and all of the. It's like when we look at whichever politician and whichever side of the aisle you're on makes no difference. You have your celebrities that are out there campaigning for them. We look at them, and I keep looking at, why you're an actor, you make your living pretending to be someone that you are not, and you're telling me how I ought to vote.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect there.
People fall for that. They fall for the marketing and advertisement, and it's got to be more to it. Bobby does marketing and advertisement for his radio station, but if it wasn't more to it than just the marketing and advertisement, we would feel a certain way. And when we put ourselves out here with our imposter, our fake and shaken version of ourselves, we're just marketing something that we can't deliver on. So it's important, if you really want to be with somebody, that you, again, I don't know why the young girls now, I like to still wear high heels. And I didn't want a man. I'm 5'5.5", if I can claim that half still.
Mhm.
I didn't want that. If I put on 3-inch heels, I'm looking on the top of his head. Now I know they say it don't matter if what his height is. That's your preference. My preference is I want to look up. I don't want to look down. And my husband before was 6'1", so I just wanted at least 6 tall. I didn't say anything about the money. I didn't. I wanted somebody who knew how to be fiscally responsible. Like
I'm like this. A man should be able to take care of himself.
first.
He should first,
Mhm.
before he even start dating anyone,
Mhm.
he should go. Those guys who are unemployed and those guys still staying at their mama's house or their
40
sisters or
something years
something
old.
like that, and they don't have no car, don't have some basic needs,
Right.
of independence of
Yeah.
themselves. They really don't need to be dating.
They do not.
No.
They do not.
They don't need to be dating.
Because
need
what
to-
you bringing to the table besides sex,
Well-
and sex is a dime a dozen if we just gonna talk
it's
about
not
it like
necessarily the table. What are you doing for
that.
yourself?
Nothing.
You guys, you got to go out and get yourself together. Get your little apartment, get you a car, get some insurance for your
Mhm.
car, get food in your refrigerator,
Get a burial plan.
get a burial plan, get whatever you need to live and
Mhm.
be independent.
Right.
And once you get established like that and you got your job and got everything in place, then go out and maybe date somebody where you can be able to afford to take a lady out to dinner
Mhm.
and pick her up in your car,
Mhm.
and go out to dinner or buy her some roses or flowers or something on that first date.
Mhm.
But see, we're not in that age because that PlayStation, they'll spend $400 or $500 on
Oh
that.
my gosh! Don't talk
You
about the
know,
games,
The
live
games,
games.
and hey, they got to be on that all day,
Mhm.
smoking marijuana and cigars and stuff like that.
Hookah
Our
lounges.
hookah lounges, and that's the new age thing that a lot of younger people are doing,
Mhm.
and they won't listen to the
Going to
old
the strip club together as a couple.
strip club parties. Hey, my birthday party, where you at? It's at the strip club.
Mm.
And so you come on down.
Mm-mm.
It costs $25-$30
The
to get
wings
in.
is really good. The wings is really good.
They got good wings,
No,
and that's the world we live in
I
today.
know.
We live in that world today. So how can we bring them back? They say traditional living is old and outdated, and it's gone and it's away. But sometimes I think old school is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Old school was pretty good. I tell a lot of young people, I said, boy, y'all missed it.
Mm.
Y'all missed a good era.
Oh yeah.
An era of when people were just having fun
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying life
Yeah.
and enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
and unity was more, you know,
In the community.
community that-
Common unity was
Unity.
more common.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, we do, our young people have missed out on quite a bit.
They have missed
Yeah.
out.
Just the pureness of it.
Oh
Just
my
pure
goodness.
joy. You didn't have to have all this fancy, expensive stuff to be able to
Have
enjoy.
enjoyment.
Yeah.
And you had more.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's changed a lot, but we have to help them understand that the social media, how much of that is really real? I mean, because those people that are the influencers, if you will, do you even know them? I mean,
You don't
really
know
know
'em.
them. Would you ever even get to a chance to go out and eat lunch with them? No. I saw where it was a case in court where this couple were influencers and they was found a way to pay for the best wedding that they wanted to have was to put it out to their social media followers that come be a part of the wedding, but the people didn't know you're really paying for the wedding to be able to attend the wedding. And they had this highfalutin thing, but then they promised a lot of stuff and they didn't deliver. Well, this one chick, she was mad because she didn't feel like she got her money's worth, so she sued them. She won. But
Wow.
just but how many of the other people that didn't receive the benefit, they didn't sue. But it's just we cannot get caught up in social media. That is only small fact. Now I do get some good recipes off of social media.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
y'all
you
very
got
much.
that.
Well, you know,
But-
I look at social media as a tool of good and bad.
Right.
It is.
You know, of good and bad. You
Mhm.
can use it for good
Hmm.
or you can use it for bad.
Yeah, like
So
anything else.
if you get on social media and all you focus on is the negativity and the bad stuff that's going on out there, you're going to receive that. If you get on there and look for good stuff, get on YouTube, how to do this and how to do that, the good stuff,
Yeah,
then hey, it's going to benefit you
yeah,
in that way.
Right.
But it's too many of our young people are getting on there because they're following the
Following, yeah.
celebrities.
yeah. They want that life.
They want
They're
that life,
coveting.
and they are making so much negativity behind these celebrities and
Mhm.
stuff, and they're following that
Yeah.
stuff.
And you have to understand you don't have those connections like that celebrity person that you're aspiring to be like. You could be working on your own thing, getting your own self together. In Oklahoma, it costs $25 to launch a nonprofit plus $275, so $300, and or $100 on the LLC. You could be getting your own business together while you
Come
all
on.
caught up trying
Telling
to follow
them.
people that you ain't gonna never meet. You really don't even know. And they have a team of people that are supporting them get to where they're going.
You said the key word team
Yeah,
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
people
yeah.
that are on their team,
Mm-hmm.
and here you are by yourself
Mm-hmm.
trying to emulate them
Mhm.
alone.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's
and
not gonna
they're
work.
not happy.
They're not
The
happy.
celebrity is not happy. We
They're
see
not
it
happy.
over and over and over.
Divorce
again.
rate amongst celebrities is atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Things don't
every
make
day.
you happy. You have to find it. We talk about that all the time. Joe says something. No, you make me happier. I had my own happy when I came into the situation, but you can make me happier by the things you do, being the kind of person that he is. I find joy in the kind of person that he is, how he takes care of me, how he looks out for me, how I don't have to fight for myself. He got it. Spiders and ants and all.
See, we are very impressed in 2026, and I'm speaking for the younger people about things and stuff,
The wrong things. And
things and stuff.
stuff.
Mhm.
And
You
we want
know.
it right now.
We want it right now, and if you got a fancy car, ooh, we looking at you.
Mhm.
If you're living large in your big house or your place, and you look like you got money.
They don't know a lot of those people, quote unquote, rent those places to do the shot at. It's not even theirs.
It's not
Ask them to
theirs.
produce the deed.
They don't have a deed.
Exactly, because it's not their space.
No, it's not. You know, somebody told me this. They say, Bobby, they coming into your station here, boy, and the reason you can't get no money because you look like you already got it.
Mm.
And I said to myself, what do you mean by that? They see all this equipment, they see all them gold and platinum records on the wall, and they think you already got it.
Mm.
I say, man, I ain't got it. You know what I mean? I need some finances. I need some donations. This electric and bill and all of this stuff costs money.
Yeah. It ain't
Yeah.
free.
It ain't free.
Mm.
No.
So you have to get your priorities straight and understand a person's situation. When you are dating, like I said, I'm going back to vetting.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mhm.
You
gotta
got
you
to.
gotta
You
vet a
got to
person.
Mhm.
check them out. Do background checks. I tell my ladies we haven't had retreat in a while, but we're getting ready to get started back. Get a background check. Talk
Back
to his family and friends. Watch how he interacts with his people, his family, his friends, his circle, because that's going to tell you a lot. Whatever kind of interaction that he has with those
Ask him
people
about his
close to him.
childhood.
Yeah.
Ask her about her childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
How did they grow up? What kind of household were they in?
Right. Because
Was it a
that's
two parent?
important.
Was it a 2-parent family or was it a 1-parent family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you were you raised by you? Some people were raised by their grandparents.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how they were
Oh
raised.
yeah.
Are
Yeah.
raised by their older sibling
Older sibling,
who was a child too.
yeah, a
So
child.
a
And that was
lot
more or
of,
less like their mama.
yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of things
We,
go
we,
into
we,
that.
we just listened to that this weekend,
Hmm.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Where Shirley was raising everybody.
Yeah, my oldest sister, we went to Austin this weekend for her 90th birthday celebration, and it
90
was,
years old. That's a long time. My dad's 90.
hmm
Hmm.
yeah, it's 5 generations in
Yeah,
her
it
family,
is.
and it just a blessing. But just to hear the different things that came out of that conversation about how she, because mom and dad worked, but she was the big sister and looked out for the family, and we don't take time because we got it. In the church they tell you better marry instead of burning. So people hurry up and get married, and they haven't taken the time to get to know the person that they're going to marry. Now, I'm not telling you a time clock, a calendar that needs to be involved. Joe and I first talked October of 2024. We briefly, about 17 minutes, according to the timer on my phone. And then we didn't talk again until January 27th. And by the end of that week, that was a Monday, that we met in person on that Saturday. The next day, we started on a journey of the way he said we're starting a courtship that's going to end in marriage. That's what he chose to establish with me, and I was in agreement with that. Now, some people would say you only talk on the phone for a week and then you was engaged at the end of the week. Yeah, because at our ages we know a lot about life. We're not 20 teenagers or 20 boppers that don't know nothing. And so we knew some things. I knew what I was looking for in a spouse. I knew I needed somebody again who can spiritually cover me. I know the things I do for the kingdom of God. I am a peculiar person. I'm used by God in peculiar ways, and I needed somebody that when God tell me to go in the grocery store or drive across town and give somebody some money, that they're not fighting me on it. That maybe he don't understand it all from an experiential point of view, but he's not fighting me when I say, baby, God said this, or God showed me this, or this is what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes I don't even preface it and say this, I just go do it. And then he's like, wow, did that really just happen? Yeah, that really just, because that's been my life.
Mhm.
But I didn't need anybody fight me when I go to the store and God tells me, walk up to this person and say, the Lord. And I may not even say the Lord, I just might start telling them what I see. Sometimes I look at people, I see musical notes dancing around their head. And I say, hmm, you got a really nice singing voice, huh?
Hmm.
And they'll look at me like, because I don't know these people. Look at me kind of strange. But he doesn't find offense in that. He doesn't
I think
don't go in this store talking to these people.
I think it's neat, and I'm a witness to seeing this happen. I'm watching. I'm just gonna sit back and watch the show. I can see what this is. I'm
Yeah.
learning that divine appointment issue.
But it's just getting that alignment with somebody who accepts all of you. I
Mhm.
have to accept all of him. He has to accept all of me. I'm funny sometimes. I'm sometimes again. If I'm about business or whatever, like when we got ready to come home yesterday morning, I'm very focused when I'm on a project. So I'm trying to get everything together and I'm listening and not wanting to leave anything in Austin, right? We don't live down there. So, but he said, are you okay? Yeah. And then he felt, oh, she's focused because that's how I can be. I can just be in the zone and I'm going through my little things and getting things done. But that's the thing where it takes to learn each other. That wasn't something we could experience so much before we got married,
Right.
but we talk about things before I'm a planner shaper. That's my life language. I got stuff planned out to the next 2027. because I that's how I live my life. That's how I communicate
You
in life.
plan, huh?
I plan and I shape the world through the plan, but I also then surrendered it. Excuse me, I'm beating up the mic today, y'all. Excuse me. Surrendered the plan to God to see, will He smile on it? Is this something that He agrees with? Is this the desire in my heart? Is this His desire? The desire to do a YouTube channel and do a podcast, that was something I had in my heart, had been praying on it, developing through prayer before I ever met Joe. And I told him, you don't have to join me in all the things that I have. I got lists of things that I plan to do before I die. I want to go do the indoor skydiving. He don't have to do it. I want to do it. I want to do bungee fitness. He don't have to do it. He's not going to do it. I'm going to do it with my girlfriends for my 72nd birthday coming up. But it's just these things that I have planned through for life. And again, not forcing him to join me in anything, but the podcast, because of his experience in being in ministry, it was something that spoke to his heart and something that he
Yes,
wanted to do.
absolutely.
And God just brought it to be. I mean, I'm amazed too when I think that we talked to Bobby on the 19th of February, and by the 10th of March, we were already launching. Now, that's when God is putting his Kairos moment stamp on the things that you've been praying about and planning and listening, so that when the things come together, then you're ready to take advantage of that opportunity.
Well,
'cause you're
when
in
you
alignment.
guys came to me about doing one, I was just, okay, it's Ellouise. All right, here you go.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't have no question about where it was going to go
Yeah.
because I know you, and we've been knowing each other since kindergarten.
That's amazing.
And I said to myself, I said, "Oh, Ellouise want one? Okay, I'm gonna give her one." There's some other people wanted one too,
hmm
you know. But I said, "Wait a minute, hold on, I'm gonna give Ellouise and Joe a show." You know, and that's when I decided to let God handle it and let you guys come in and do what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, God showed me, He says, "Well, Bobby, they're interracial couple."
Mhm.
I said, "Well, that could be a good thing
Yeah.
for this particular broadcast right here, a
Yeah.
better thing."
Yeah.
You know, because I've had some shows, some relationship shows over here,
Mhm.
but I've never had this type of
Mhm.
mature relationship interracial show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're learning more about interracial couples. They're more than what I realized.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure.
I didn't really pay attention till after I fell in love with Eloise, and then I began noticing. Oh, well, I never paid that much attention to how many interracial couples we've come in contact with. Gobs of them.
Oh, 2026, times have changed.
Yeah.
People are marrying who they love,
hmm
Right.
you know, and they getting together with who they like and who they love, and they choosing that. That division is not there like it
Yeah.
once was at one time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't knock people for who their heart loves. The
Mhm.
heart loves what it
That's
loves.
Yeah.
right.
And like I said before, I didn't know what I would want. I always said I would never marry anything but a milk chocolate or dark chocolate man. That's how I saw my life. But then when I was really getting serious about having a mate, I just told the Lord, give me who I need. I don't know what I want. My wants have changed over time, but you know who I need long term. Who can go with me? Who can keep growing with me? Who can I keep growing with as we move forward? Who can be intentional about developing a love that's going to last for generations, you know, so our kids can see this is real. This is not fake. It's real.
So before we get too far away from it, because we're running out of time, boy.
Yeah, we're
But
getting
time goes
close.
fast. Okay. Also, you need to look at what unspoken expectations that you may have within yourself for someone. In other words, do you expect your spouse, for example, to handle all the finances, and you're not going to be a part, or do you expect your spouse to be able to read your mind? You ought to know how I feel. You know, have you got those unexpected things? Do you prioritize your family over their family? Those are unexpected things that you need to be thinking
Oh
about.
yeah,
And
that's some reality right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, well, we're not going to your mother. We always have it on Christmas Eve, and we're going to have to go to my family. You know, that's the kind
And
of
that
stuff.
happens too.
Yeah, but anyway,
But good thing about Joe, he's real easy. Again, like I said, he's just steady chill. So
Yeah,
I'm the
Joe is
one
big
that's-
time
Yeah, I'm
chill.
the one
He's
up
just-
and down.
He the one. I can tell Joe just chill.
Yeah.
He don't let a lot just
He
bother
doesn't,
him.
He doesn't, and he
and he's
doesn't hold
chill.
on to it.
Yeah.
He gets over it quick, and he's moving on into the next second, which is really good. If
You
anybody's-
probably the one to get all like that.
I have to hold it until I can completely process it to get a period. Once I can put a period at the end, then I'm done. But it
and
takes
Joe
a
gonna
little
kick
moment.
back and look at you like,
He just loves me through
yeah,
it.
love you through it.
She'll get quiet, and I say, "You all right, babe?"
Right.
I'm processing because you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to do
You
the
don't.
wrong
You
thing.
don't. You
So
don't.
you have to take advantage of doing it the right way. Keeping the alignment in your relationship is so important. Remembering that it's 1 + 1 = 1.
That's right.
So we're gonna have
Wrap it
to
up.
shut it up and close it out for this week. But hopefully next week we will be back on our schedule where we're going to talk about, is it religion or is it relationship? Meaning what you have with God, because whatever you have with God goes out from you to other people. But thank you. We hope you had a good time. We always have a good time coming in here chopping
Yes,
it up
we
with
do.
Bobby. It's a good place to be, y'all. See you next week. Well, that does it for this week's show. Thank you for tuning in to Love in Real Life. We enjoyed our time together and we hope you did too. We invite you to join us again next Tuesday at 2 for a relationship reset. Remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, and comment. Our YouTube channel is Dr. Ellouise and Joseph Hill at Hill of Love, or email us at joe.lhill@gmail.com.
This is KBOB 89.9 FM, Tulsa. And now streaming 24/7 live from the Eden Media Studio. 24/7 live at KBOB899.com.